All right, welcome everyone today. I do apologize about the issue we had with Zoom getting started. Thank you so much for coming today. This is our weekly Wednesday workshop from the Gulf States Regional Office. It's something that was started during the pandemic just to give the farmers an opportunity to keep learning, even though we couldn't do in-person events. So I appreciate you all being here today. We have a special guest, one that I've been knowing for many, many years and doing the work here in the South, and that's Mr. Otis Wright Jr. Today, he will be talking, he wears many hats, but today he will be talking about his position with the organization of RAFI and what they can do to assist farmers around the country, but especially here in the South. His position, and he will get into that, helps farmers in the South. And so without further ado, because we're running behind a few minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you, Mr. Otis, where you could get started and we can have a conversation. I'll let you explain who you are, what your organization do, and then we can do some Q&A from myself and the attendees here.
Okay. All right. So just like Ms. Bell said, my name is Otis Wright Jr. I work for RAFI-USA. RAFI stands for Rural Advancement Foundation International. We are not a foundation, though. We are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to challenge all the causes, the root causes of unjust food systems. So we work with farmers. We provide technical assistance with farmers, to farmers all over the Southeast as well as beyond the Southeast. We don't turn down any farmers that call in through our hotline, and I'll make sure before I leave I will drop that number. But yeah, so we advocate and we support farmers. We do everything as far as assisting farmers markets, food systems. We are also involved in helping change policy that's coming out of DC. So we partner with other advocates like the Farm Aid and Federation of Southern cooperatives. We kind of partner with everybody to help push our farmers forward. We are a BIPOC targeted group. We try to target those farmers who have been historically underserved. And as far as me, I serve as the Farmer Resource Coordinator. My main purpose or my main focus is farm service loans, making sure that our farmers have everything they need before they go into the Farm Service Agency to request those loans. I do everything as far as helping them fill out the paperwork, just making sure that they are dotting every I and crossing every T when it comes down to those applications. And also just trying to get those numbers up of African American farmers and BIPOC farmers too, as far as going in there, going in those offices to apply for the loans, but also the NRCS programs too. And so RAFI has a lot of different programs. We have the Farmers of Color Network, which you can sign up for. And when you become a member of the Farmers of Color Network, you have the opportunity to apply for different grants that we do. Normally those grants come out around January. And so that's one of the many benefits of being a member of the Farmer of Color Network. You also get different newsletters, emails that will keep you informed with other activities and different resources that you can utilize too. And so yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them.
Yes, sir. So one of the questions I wanted to ask is, are farmers able to come into an office to get assistance? How does it work? Is it just grant opportunities with RAFI, or is it specific programs they can sign up for?
So when it comes down to RAFI, kind of like I was saying, we kind of do everything when it comes down to the farmers. Our base office is in Pittsburgh. That's in North Carolina. And so if you're in those areas, yeah, you could come to an office and you can talk to somebody. But we have different we have advocates that are spread across from the Carolinas all the way to here to the state of Mississippi. And so we do have a farmer hotline that you can call, and you can get help through the farmers hotline too.
Great to hear. I guess the other questions would be, I'm assuming, I know you said that you're over the Farmers of Color and it is projects under RAFI for farmers, but I'm assuming it's open to all farmers as well, like the programs and the opportunities.
Right. Yeah. So now there are certain grants that you do have to be considered a BIPOC farmer. You have to be considered, a farmer of a color. But then as far as the general information and help, we don't turn down anybody. We don't discriminate with it. We don't discriminate with anybody. But there are certain programs that are strictly for those historically underserved farmers. And the reason why is because historically they have been underserved. And so we want to make sure that those farmers who hadn't had a fair chance, who have been historically underserved, who have been treated wrong, have opportunity to take to be able to utilize these resources. But any farmer can call the Farmers Hotline and still get help with technical assistance.
Great to hear. Now, one of the things I really enjoy is the newsletter. So I know that's open to the public, going to your website, signing up for the newsletter. You all have a wealth of information there. And then I guess the other thing I would ask, well, I heard you say you partner with a lot of entities around the country. So RAFI partner with a lot of entities. So that do you partner with farmer cooperatives or are they just nonprofit entities?
Oh, no. We partner with churches. Some of my coworkers that are in the North Carolina area, they do a lot with the churches, and the churches are they're really involved in the food systems network. You got churches there that are starting food hubs, farmers markets. So we deal with everybody, cooperatives, like I said, churches, other nonprofits, government agencies. Of course, we have to partner with Farm Service Agency, NRCS, all of these people. Everybody that's dealing with agriculture, we probably have a relationship with. There are also a lot of private companies that do a lot of that are doing a lot of ag stuff, and we also partner with those people too. And it kind of goes back to to us doing all the different trainings and the stuff, things on public policy and all these different things. So we have to have these. So we have to establish these relationships with people because we're dealing with the whole system of agriculture and making sure that people get help. So we deal with everybody.
Got you. Okay. So I have attended some of your webinars, and you know that NCAT, we do a lot of in-person events, but of course the pandemic caused us to do a lot of Zooms, but we really are known for in-person events. So yourself and other RAFI employees, do you do the speaking engagements and so forth? Do you come out and do those with your partners?
Oh, yes. So yeah, every opportunity that we have, we love to do in person. I'm definitely not a big fan of Zoom, but I do understand and I do appreciate Zoom, because I'm able to, just any minute, that we have to do is set up a link and I can reach 200-300 people. So we definitely appreciate Zoom, but there's nothing like doing in person. As you know, we just had one last week, and I mean it was so good just to be back outside, having the farmers around. We had conservation agents there, NRCS agents there, and so it was just I'm a big fan of the in person. But like I said, I do appreciate Zoom, and I do understand the advantages of being a virtual too. But nothing is like in person. I think that's just my personal thought, my personal opinion.
And do RAFI bring the farmers together, or are you just really working with individual farmers in the individual states, or do you try to pull them together to kind of do projects together? How does that work?
Right. So so we do We actually do we probably one of the only organizations where we have an actual farmers brigade, and that's when we take farmers and we organize a nice group of farmers and take them to another farm to help that farm out. So if a farmer is having trouble, say a farmer is having trouble with trying to build a high tunnel, if a farmer is having trouble with trying to harvest, we will, if that farmer tells us what's, that they're having some issues and they're having a hard time trying to find labor, we actually organize other farmers to come together and we'll go out and help.
I like that. I've heard of those, but I don't know if we have any of those down this way.
Well, I'm actually in the process of trying to get one organized now. I got one farmer in the Delta and I got one farmer here who have both said that they could really use some help. So I'm trying to organize to where we can get at least 5 good farmers to come together and we go to one farm and try to help this guy this week and try to go to help the other guy the next week. So that's coming.
Great. Okay. Because that's something that I had noticed in the South. Not to say it's not a need here, but I really hadn't seen it here. So great. I'm glad to hear that. I like that notion of peer-to-peer. That's basically what it is, farmer to farmer.
Right. Yeah.
And so forth. But yes, that's a good thing. Thank you for trying to get it done here.
Right. And that only just it just kind of makes things a whole lot better. These farmers, especially when you're talking about our African American farmers, most of them being smaller farmers, like we got a network. We have to network because we really need the help. And so the more we do try to come together and help each other, I mean, we could start taking on bigger contracts and, doing a whole lot more. We just need to have a team behind us. Sometimes people just need to know that, hey, I got your back. And so that's kind of, so it's not only helping, but it's trying to build, a relationship too, because we have a lot of young farmers now that are coming up and they could really use some guidance when it comes down to the older farmers. So the older farmer might need the labor and the younger guy, he needs the guidance.
Okay. So 2 things I want to bring up that I have had association with RAFI in is the more like legal side of helping farmers. Do RAFI still do that, like the legal side and
yes, ma'am.
Kind of doing the publications, pushing things out, that kind of stuff? That's what I'm used to RAFI kind of doing, and you're saying they still have that arm of them as well, helping farmers legally when they have issues too.
Yes, ma'am. So me, I'm actually a part of that team. There's a team of there's me and there's about 3 other people who actually, when it comes down to those appeals, things like debt, when it comes down to debt relief and those things, I am part of that team. And I can tell you now, we have several cases now that we're working with, that we're trying to help people try to get out of debt. And so, yes, RAFI does have that resource. We can't guarantee you anything that we can get you out of debt, but it just depends on the situation of the loan or of the debt that's owed, that there's some things that we can do in order to get you some debt relief. We might not be able to get it all off you, but we can definitely give you that something. There's been times when people have won cases and because RAFI had help, because people who have been doing this, we have people who've been doing this that's been there for like 40 years. And so, yes, we do offer that resource, and we do everything that we can to help you. And also, as far as when it come down to those farm service loans, my main job is to make sure that all your financial records are in place before you go, to make sure that you can even qualify. And so part of me helping you is to make sure that you are going to be able to pay this money back. And so that's kind of how we do. That's kind of where that having that passion, having that love for serving others comes in at, because we don't want to stick you just because you might qualify. That still might not be good for you to do, or that amount of money that you're going for might not be the right amount that you need to go for. We don't want to get you stuck in any bad situation. So we try to help you make those judgments, try to help you, assist you in making your decisions when you're going to get these loans, because we want what's best for the farmer.
Yeah, good to hear. And just to double back a little bit on the legal, one of the things also that I remember RAFI doing is like appeals when it comes to
Yeah.
government entities. Like a farmer may have gone in and didn't feel like they got the best service.
Right.
Do you all still do that as well? Like RAFI
Yes,
kind
ma'am.
of helps in that what is it, the not necessarily negotiation, but that appeal process to a mediator. That's what I'm trying to think of, a mediator type thing. Do you all still do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That is something that is done. That's probably, as far as technical assistance, that's probably number 2 on the list. That's something that's probably somebody in the office is doing for a farmer every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know RAFI does that. See, that is why you're here today, because we see, on the front facing on your website, the opportunities for farmers to apply for a lot of your, grant opportunities. But a lot of the farmers now, some of the working professionals know what you all do, but the farmers really don't know what you offer. And that appeal, that mediation access really would help a farmer. They can't
Definitely.
always speak for themselves, let alone even know what to say.
That's right.
When they're up against anyone. It could be another farmer.
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't know that you offer that. And I have just seen some great outcomes. Like you say, it's not guaranteed, but at least you all are there to help and give the farmer some pointers and, say this, or you may not need to do that. And let's go back and dig up this paperwork, that kind of stuff to help the farmer get along down the process.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's our job.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. So I am not going to hold the questions up. I want to open it up to our guests. If we have any questions or comments, please, you can either unmute yourself, or if you would like to type it in the chat. We want to make sure that all your questions get answered, even concerns. If you have concerns, or if you have worked with RAFI, we definitely try to get those concerns answered and taken care of today, moving up the ladder, of course, within RAFI. Go ahead.
I would like to add too. I forgot to mention this. RAFI is just not only in the here in the Southeast, but we're also on the. We also work with farmers in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So when you send this out, if you guys got any farmers that are on the Virgin Islands or in Puerto Rico, we also can help there too.
That's amazing. You have a far reach.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, we just closed out a grant that was for farmers. It was a infrastructure grant for farmers on the Virgin Islands. So yes, ma'am, we try to make sure that we cover those people too, because there's a lot of farmers over there on the Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico. There's a lot of agriculture going on there too. So we definitely we have footprints there. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing. Now you saying that, let me ask you this. So when you said write a grant, are you writing it and basically adding farmers or farm entity in that or are those farm entities coming to you and asking for help to write a grant? How does that work with RAFI?
Okay, so no. So RAFI gets funding, and they pretty much set aside a certain amount. They earmark a certain amount of money for certain things. So like this year for the Virgin Islands, they had a infrastructure grant. And so that infrastructure grant was a couple of $1,000s that you can come to the website, and there's a template, pretty much a template. So you don't have to create nothing. You just need to know pretty much, well, tell us about your farm, but also your vision for it. And then we need to be able to see, how can this farm sustain itself, and just how it's going to look in the future. So you pretty much just writing down, you just going question by question, talking about your farm and who are the people that you're trying to, impact, what area you're trying to help. Just pretty much a real good profile description. And then that grant, after you do that, you send that template off, then that grant is pretty much reviewed, and it goes through our ranking system pretty much, and that's how you get the grant.
Oh, and then I'm assuming that that's for all your grants, going through the review process, ranking.
Right,
That's for
right,
all of them, not
right,
just that particular area in Puerto Rico and
right. But we
Island, but
right.
all.
Right,
Good.
but we try to make those easy as far as people filling those out. We're not looking for you to have these long big words. I mean, we try to make it as simple as possible, but it has to make sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, making sure it's feasible. But again, it goes back to what you're saying, making sure the farmer is successful.
Right, and then it's important for our end to make sure things are language friendly, because sometimes you apply for these different things, and you can battle. There's certain things I've looked at that I don't understand, so we try to make sure that everything is language friendly.
Got you. I understand. Well, again, open it up to our guests today. We appreciate everyone being here. Do you have any questions or comments today? This is our weekly Wednesday workshop, and we're talking with Mr. Otis Wright Jr. from RAFI. And basically, it's the working professionals. I invited him on so he could share what his organization do in helping farmers. We want to, NCAT have done it for many, many years, but it is so many other entities out here that do the same work. So please, if you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat, the floor is open to you now. Mr. Orlando, did you have a question or comment?
No, ma'am. I certainly enjoyed everything. I certainly would probably, I think I'm getting the emails and everything from Rafi. I wanted to see maybe making a contact with him and maybe getting him to.
I think he froze up.
I'm sorry, Mr. Orlando, we lost you. Could you repeat yourself?
Oh, I said, excuse me. Well, it's not really inclement weather, but I think the weather may be
Oh, yes, sir. We keep losing you.
some of our farmers here up in Octavia County, Mississippi.
Okay, Mr. Orlando, we lost you. Are you saying you would like to see if Mr. Otis can come and speak to your farmers in Octavia County?
Yes, ma'am. Either
No
and then
problem.
also not either in person or Zoom. It doesn't have to be in person, but it can be maybe Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm always traveling. I'm in the Delta all the time, so I can come over that way too. Yeah, that's not a problem. We can set a Zoom up. I'd be more than happy to. I wanna put our farmer crisis hotline. I'm gonna say it and then I'll type it. Now you don't have to have a actual crisis to call. If you do got a crisis, call, but you don't have to have necessarily a crisis. If you just need information, you can call us on our hotline. It's 866-586-6746. You can call that number anytime. If you call after 5, of course, you will be it will send us an email, because of course we'll be closed, but it'll send us an email and somebody will get to you the next day. But you guys have my direct number, and I'm seeing some names. Most of you know me, or I know you, so some of y'all have my private number. But I did put my work number in there, and the crisis hotline number for other people who may see this who are not on here. The crisis hotline number, farmer crisis hotline for RAFI-USA, is 866-586-6746.
So again, I know we have people to come on later. One of the things I would love for you all to do is please go to RAFI-USA website. They have a wealth of information there. And what Mr. Otis did today was sharing what he does here in the South, but then also he was sharing the grant opportunities that are there for BIPOC farmers. So please visit the website, see what they have to offer, see do you qualify for it, and so forth. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Mr. Otis so he can explain these programs a little bit more fuller to you, or fully rather to you, and so you could get a better understanding. But it is some opportunities out here. And one of the things I want to add, for all the years I've been doing this work, it has not been a lot of grant opportunities for farmers. So please take heed to this. These are organizations that are bringing in financial resources to help farmers. And like I said, 20 plus years ago, you didn't have these opportunities. So please take heed to the opportunities. These organizations are putting their neck out there to say, hey, we can help farmers too. And so please take heed to these programs, these financial opportunities. Whatever they ask for, please fill these applications out in their entirety, because you don't realize that's how you get kicked out. You can leave one question undone, and a lot of times you'll get kicked out. So please, read. That's why I said Mr. Otis is here to help you. So if you have any questions about those funding opportunities, reach out to him so you could get a clear understanding of how to fill it out, what you need to say, because he said, the ones of you all that come a little bit later, he stated that it has to make sense. Your project has to make sense. It cannot be something, pie in the sky kind of thing. It has to make sense for you. It has to make sense for the community, and it also has to make financial sense.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me just let me throw this out there too, just to give you guys a heads up. Whenever you are going after any funding, it's good to go on and make sure that you already have your farm number, have your farm registered, because that's one of our standards or requirements when it comes down to applying for that funding. When we do get it, you need to already have your farm number, and possibly, if you can, to already be kind of farming too, because we need to see at least that you've been doing this for a couple of seasons. So make sure that you get your farm. If you are farming, make sure you get your farm registered. If you don't have it registered already, make sure you do that. And make sure you guys go to the website, just like Ms. Bell said, and sign up for the Farmers of Color Network. It's the FOCN, Farmers of Color Network, and that's on our homepage when you go onto the website. Make sure you guys sign up for that.
Thank you, Mr. Otis. And keep in mind, to get your farm number, you got to go to FSA. And so again, Mr. Otis can assist you with that. And any of us can assist you with finding your local USDA local, what is called USDA service center.
That's right.
We can help you locate that for your local area. That's what I was trying to say. So please make sure that you have that. He's saying, and to be honest with you guys, you got to have that for anything you apply for now. You have to have a farm number to apply for NRCS. So you might as well go on and get it. If you know you're going to farm, going into the office and get that number and so forth. Again, I'm grateful to have this opportunity to utilize the weekly Wednesday workshop, having this platform. Again, for ones of you all that don't know, this platform was created during the pandemic, like March, April, right in there, 2020. I wanted to make sure that the farmers still had access to us since we could not do in-person events. And then my organization have allowed me to keep it going. And I'm very grateful for that. And this particular year, 2023, I am interviewing farmers. That's one series I'm doing to share what they're doing. And then the second arm to that is the working professionals. I want working professionals coming on, sharing about what their organization do. So Mr. Otis and several others I have on the docket to come. So one of the things I always share, ncat.org/events. Please, please, please go and look there. And I know in the past we have had some changes, so I'm gonna give another website just in case. ATTRA, ATTRA.ncat.org/events. So either one of those websites, you can find our event page. Now, I want you all to be mindful that event page is for all of our regional offices. So when you get there, you're going to see every single event that NCAT does around the country. So that's a good thing. If you're traveling, you may be able to stop into an event. So just keep in mind, it's not just the Gulf States regional office events, it's all of our regional office events. So please go there. That is where all of my events will be posted, even the weekly Wednesday workshops. So not just in-person events, but our webinars and everything is posted there. This particular video will be on our YouTube channel, and you can find that at the attra.ncat.org page. All of our weekly Wednesday workshops go up onto our NCAT ATTRA YouTube channel. So it'll be there eventually. After some editing, it will be there. So any of your clientele's friends, other farmers, if they miss today, just let them know, in several weeks, it'll be up on our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it again and be able to hear what Mr. Otis shared about RAFI-USA. So Mr. Otis, I'll leave the last words. Oh, we got somebody unmuted. Miss Nadine, you have a question?
Yes, would you repeat that website? The new one you said.
Yes, ma'am. So ATTRA, ATTRA .N as in Nancy, cat, CAT.org/events with an S, EVENTS. So ATTRA.ncat.org/events.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll drop it in the chat as well. But that is where you can find everything that we do. So not only this, but also you can find our publications and so forth. So a wealth of information is at that website. And so you definitely can find what you need there. And please share with your network, because we're here to help. That is what NCAT is. We're sustainable agriculture, sustainable energy, but we're here to help. And we help by means of deliverables. Our deliverables are these videos and podcasts and blogs and our publications and so forth. And then last but not least, my favorite are the in-person events. So we provide a lot of things. And so please just, go to that website. You'll be able to get a wealth of information. And thanks everyone for coming today. If nothing else, I'm going to let Mr. Otis close us out today.
Okay, I just say again, I appreciate you guys picking me to come and speak today. I'm here to serve. That is what I do. That's what I love to do. And so if you guys need me, you have all my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Keep growing and keep growing. Thank you.
And Mr. Otis, could you verbally say your contact information again for our viewers, our later viewers?
Sure. Otis Wright Jr. I'm the Farmer Resource Coordinator at RAFI-USA. That's RAFI-USA. My email is Otis at Rafi. That's Otis, OTIS, at RAFI-USA.org. And my number is 984-282-6298. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Otis, and thanks everyone for coming today. This has been a wonderful opportunity just to find out what another organization is doing in the United States for our farmers. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day.
And
Okay.
we